Welcome back to another Crawl Space Encounters. Got another house for sale. You can see I am in a really nice neighborhood, man. This house is gorgeous. Obviously I can't show you the house because privacy, but you can see the house behind me. That is an absolutely gorgeous home in a very nice neighborhood. We're talking probably well over a few $1,000,000. But we're gonna take a dive into Crawl Space, because that's what we do. So hang tight, let's check her out. Alrighty, well, let's give her a check. Okay, so what do we got here? This is probably gonna be a fairly large crawl space. Nice tall piers in here. Maybe we can get some good footage without having to crawl around too much, getting up underneath all these pipes and all that. We'll find out. So this right here, this is actually a block wall leading into a basement. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. This is a crawl space on one side and a basement on the other. Alright. So let's go ahead and hang this way. So you can tell that this vapor barrier they have down here has been here for some time. Might be the original. Who knows, but this house has been here for some time already too. So let me get up over this pipe. One thing for sure, when you do an inspection, is you don't want to be busting people's pipes, and because then you're gonna have to fix it. And I don't want to do any of that. These inspections end up costing me money. Alright, so what do we got? We got a ladder. Check this out. A ladder going down into this area. It's like they carved out this whole bottom portion. So you know what? I'm not going to use the ladder. It's going to slide down the hill. Okay, so this is still part of the basement here. And then they have the water heater in the crawl space. No ground cover in this portion. You can see the water heater. It starts getting a little rusty down there. If you've checked out my other videos, I appreciate you guys coming back. If you're new to the channel, you know that I am not a fan of water heaters in crawl spaces, just because they just take on too much moisture, humidity, and you're not keeping an eye on it. Just not a fan. I've seen too many people having to replace them because of this humidity that builds up down here. HVAC system also in the crawl space. You know, and at least for the most part, you know, in defense to this one, which still I'm not a fan, because you can see how rust forms and all that from condensation dripping off of it. But they have it up on 2 blocks. You usually see them on like 1 block, and it's even closer to the ground. So that's, I just see these things take an absolute beating. This is a gas unit. Always want to have somebody maintain your HVAC. Just take a good look at your whole crawl space. Definitely always want to have some ground cover. Get some good plastic down here. Cover all this up. Especially this time of the year where it's pretty hot. One thing I do not like about what they did here, I just noticed. Look at the footer to that pier. That pier is holding up some serious weight. Look at that footer. It's exposed. You can tell the ground just erodes. Nothing you can do about that. And the same with this. Another exposed footer. Now, if you're going to do that, I would have put a support system right here. Pour another footer and hold up that beam a little bit better. Because this is, may or may not happen. I don't know. But things happen. Okay, just have to get up this hill. Alright, let's check out this portion. So this crawl space is big, but a lot of it's basement too. From the outside, this looks like a very large crawl space home, but it's partially a basement. I dropped my flashlight. Alright, so the condensation, just trying to get some light here. You can tell with my videos, I'm always scoping out the area, man. Possums, cats, some occasion skunks, but I can usually tell if a skunk's hanging out down here. But this is what we deal with here in South Carolina. This town is freaking growing like a lot. Quite a bit, man. We're having people from all over the moving here. I could tell by the zip codes, the area codes that are calling in. So this crawl space, I could already tell you that we're probably having some moisture issues. You can tell by the fungal growth on the wood beams. Now here in South Carolina, you have to have what they call a CL100, a clearance letter. Some people call it a termite letter. When you buy a house, mortgage companies need it. The majority of them want one. It's called a clearance letter. So you'll have a home inspection done. Obviously, you're going to get an appraisal done, but they need a clearance letter. And the clearance letter here obviously does cover termites, but it also covers moisture, water intrusion. It covers fungus, mildew, and moisture readings. Moisture readings that go above 20% is not good. So you can see here, let me get my other flashlight, that you do get some condensation coming from these pipes. You can see the water droplet right here. These pipes condensate during the summer months when it's really humid outside. So you got a lot of cold air busting through these pipes, and you've got high humidity in here, which sometimes will lead to fungal growth. So we're pretty much at 19.3%. That is really cutting it close. Then again, it is the first appointment of the day. So, right at 20%. So that would have to go on a wood infestation report. And because it's in red, I guarantee you, as I take more moisture readings, we're going to get some, maybe even higher than that, because I can feel the humidity down here. When you do a lot of these inspections, you can tell which crawl spaces are the ones that are going to have a lot of high humidity problems. You could tell they knew about it already. They put one of those fans, crawl space fans, kind of help with the ventilation down here. For this size crawl space, you would need a lot of fans. You would need to have quite a bit of those kind of fans to try to keep ventilation down here. I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of dehumidifiers. Dehumidifiers definitely help control the moisture in a crawl space, the humidity. So this right here, you can tell we had some drill holes here. They had some termite work. And some termite damage. Now those mud tubes, subterranean termite mud tubes are scraped down. So it could be previous stuff. Also, they went ahead and drilled this exterior wall. But you can see right here, termites got to that board. So that also gets written on a report that there's possible termite activity, possible structural damage. There's another fan down there. It's, your job is to just get down here, record your findings, write a letter, and submit it. That is what I do as an inspector. A lot of realtors have their own guys that they deal with. I do not work for any realtor. I choose not to. For a lot of reasons. Because realtors don't like me. And if you're like the realtors that I meet, I don't blame you. Because realtors want to hire people that aren't going to write down 20% moisture readings, because that will interfere with their closing. They'd want me to write down 18% moisture readings, which would be okay. But in all reality, we got 19.2. That's exactly what I would write down on my report. 19.2, 20%. But that 20% mark is like, oh my God, 20% moisture readings. What are the chances? That's going to interfere with our closing. 20.5. But you could also see fungus. This is a wood destroying fungi. But right now, you can see the water dripping off of this ductwork. And that doesn't get better as the day goes on. So as that water needs to evaporate, creates a nice moist atmosphere down here. So usually when you take moisture readings right above this, it's a little higher. Actually, still about 19. But you can see little droplets of water here and there. Like I said, as the day progresses, the water droplets are going to get a little bit more intense. The humidity down here is going to get a little bit more intense. And the moisture readings might go up another 1 or 2 percentages. Now, if you were a buyer, you'd want an inspector to kind of shoot you straight. Let you know, hey man, moisture readings are high down here. You've got some fungus and mildew growth going on. Because you want to know this. You want to know that there's condensation buildup down here. You want to know that your HVAC and your water heater is taking on too much humidity. Piece of wood down here. It's never a good idea to have wood on the ground. When I do see that, I just throw it right on top of the plastic. Because here we have a bad problem with subterranean termites. All it's going to take is one little termite to find that. It's like putting a little piece of candy to where you see an ant. And that ant is looking for food. And as it's hanging around, it's farting as it's cruising, leaving a pheromone trail for the other ants to find where that food source is. And believe it or not, subterranean termites do the same thing. Now, I think my numbers are right when I say this. Subterranean termites fart so much they contribute to 3% of the methane gas in our atmosphere. You can fact check me on that one. That's what I heard or read. Or I got a bottle of water right here. So this condensate's pretty good right here, right above the HVAC system. So once again, if you're gonna have a system like this in the crawl space, you want to put a good plastic lining down here, cover the bottom of this, try to keep this so you can see that this is condensating. Like I said, this is going to get worse as the day goes on. And this is something homeowners that are planning on buying a house, they need to know this. Most of these people that are moving down here, they'd never seen a crawl space before. And I get a lot of people that say, oh, that's not too bad, I've seen worse. Well, here in this part, if it fails an inspection, then that means it's not good. But you can see they put tape on here. And if you get moisture, it starts to peel off. And then you get all that stuff, the fungus spores, all that stuff, dust, humidity, you gotta get into your living space. That musky smell, and you're trying to figure out what in the world is causing that. You can see the fungal growth on the actual HVAC system. You can see the tape peeling off, and and even if you put it in an attic where it's really hot, it'll do the same. But in a moist environment like this, you can see that. I've seen it's much worse. Much worse. I am going to always pick on crawl space homes. That's what I do. I've had this conversation many times with homeowners, with inspectors, but any inspector that crawls in houses, the majority of the things that get checked off on these checklists when it comes to inspections for real estate sales or refinances, what usually fails are crawl spaces, moisture, termites. People don't come down here, unless you're a technician of some kind, HVAC guy or a plumber, for example. Most plumbers, if you tell them that they have a water heater problem, they're going to go right to that water heater that we went up to, and that's it. They're going to go fix that, and they're gone. As a plumbing company, you would kind of want to cruise around this crawl space, see if maybe there's any other leaks, any other concerns. Not only is that good for your company, for a potential other sale, but it's just good overall business. Let homeowners know, even if it has nothing to do with your line of work. You see an HVAC duct line disconnected or something, hey, just want to let you know that you've got some duct lines down there disconnected. I want to call your HVAC guy. And vice versa. HVAC guy comes out here, see a plumbing leak, see the water heater dripping water, whatever the case may be, even a leaky toilet. You can usually hear the leaky toilets on here through the pipes. Let the homeowners know, man, they appreciate that. A lot of these people, they won't dare to enter into the crawl space. I don't know why. Yeah, I do encounter some snakes every now and then, but they're not king cobras or or rattlesnakes. They're usually just the big old black snakes we have here. See, a little bit of water comes in. This is the front porch. A little bit of water comes in there. Not major. Now, we haven't had a significant amount of rain. Some on and off rain, maybe. I try to make these videos a little shorter. I do have to spend a little bit extra time down here, but this is just to let people know what crawl spaces look like before you go and buying one. What to look out for. I've just done too many crawl space videos, and I've proven my point time and time again about crawl space homes. And those are just some videos I post. Sometimes I don't feel like making a video, and I'm like, damn, I should have brought my camera, but my schedule's tight and I gotta keep moving. Today I do have some extra time, so I decided to come up in here and make a video. I do not script my videos. What you're seeing right now is basically what I'm seeing right now for the first time. You can see this foundation wall. This leads to the outside right here, outside ground. So they put one single layer of brick. And then they put your piers. And you can see the mineral deposit on this foundation wall. So water does enter through this foundation wall during times of rain, and I would write that on my report as well. During inclement times of weather, water enters through the foundation, and that's something I have to write down. Whether you guys want to do something about it or not, that's not up to me. It's not for me to decide. You can see some standing water right here. So a little bit of water comes into this foundation. You You can see the mineral deposit right there. This might be the only time that a buyer will know exactly what's happening in their crawl space. They are completely relying on me to mention a few things. And you'll see on some of my videos, I mean, this isn't really bad. But it's not up to me to determine what's bad and what's good. My job is to say, hey, yeah, there's some humidity problems down here. You can see the watermarks on the plastic itself from the here, let me get the spider web off the lens, from the ductwork. And look, you can see it's not dripping water right now, but it will be probably by this afternoon. That's all watermarks. That's just evidence right there that this place gets really warm. Like I said, the moisture readings, they'll elevate a little bit more, and it'll be in the red. But I'm here to tell you, if you want a lot, I'll tell you, people are hiring realtors, and the realtors are saying, I've got all the inspections, I've got everything lined up, don't worry. And you're like, you know, great, yeah, that's good, you're doing your job. And you figure since they're going to get such a nice cut from the sale of the house, you're like, well, you know, that's good. You know, at least they're doing something. Well, that's not really sometimes their intentions. Not all realtors, don't keep this in mind, but the majority of the ones that I've dealt with do not want an inspector to write down 20% moisture readings today and water entering in through foundation walls during inclement weather conditions or condensation. They don't want me to write any of that. And I have to, because that's going to make a hiccup in their inspection, in their sale. Because then the buyer finds out, and then the buyer's like, well, what needs to be done? And I have to make a recommendation. The only way you're going to handle water coming into the foundation is you're going to need some kind of a French drain. Here's that pit. I was down there with a water heater. You know, there's rust forming on the bottom of the water heater, so I'm going to recommend there being some kind of a plastic covering down here. A dehumidifier is going to control the condensation. You know, and nobody wants to hear that, because now all of a sudden there's a hiccup. And I am a problem to the real estate industry. But in all reality, you know, that's why it's just so important for homeowners to just take care of their homes and just, you know, always have it checked, especially if you own a crawl space home. For the simple reason that one day you're possibly going to sell, and you're going to have to deal with this. And we also have some termite damage there in that far into the house that I showed you guys. So I'm not going to be writing something down that I'm not seeing. It's exactly what I'm looking at. So it's exactly what I have to write down. So please, if you're planning on buying a house on a crawl space, have it checked out real good. Get a second opinion, third opinion, whatever. Just make sure you have somebody giving an honest assessment of the home. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys. Check out my other videos. And I'll see you around. Take care.